Hey guys, good evening. Apologies for being bit late here. Apologies. So I got stuck in some personal work and I got a bit late here. So okay, so now we have started. Hello and welcome everyone. Good evening on a good Sunday evening. I hope people have started joining in. So I tried to inform on the chat. So we'll be starting by 10:30. Apologies, we got slight delay here. Cool. So, guys, I hope people have started joining in. Welcome, everyone, in our today's discussion. So, we'll be talking about, we are into the playlist of data analysis in 3 weeks. So, that's our playlist. So, that is, we'll be talking about in today's discussion as well. And we'll be discussing a couple of good topics today. So, we'll be doing the Lambda functions. So, we'll talk about, I'll give you a brief about what Lambda functions are, and then we'll do some good questions also. Okay, so I won't try to rush into the topic, and I won't try to finish the things like for the sake of it. Rather, I'll try to give you a brief of whatever topics we have in others. So, so we'll try to cover the things in detail. So we'll cover the Lambda functions. I'll introduce you to the Lambda functions. I'll give you a brief of that, and also we'll do some good questions on overall on functions. Okay, so to give you an overview. Great. So thank you so much, Akash. Thank you so much, Ali, for joining in. And once again, guys, apologies for being a bit delayed here. So I was in some personal work today. Great. So before starting, as always, I'm monitoring my chat, guys. Any questions, any concerns regarding any topic or whatsoever we have discussed so far, be it on any topic, so be it on list, tuples, dictionary, or anything in general also in Python, you can always ask that, right? So I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. So before starting anything, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Arpit Jain and I'm a lead data scientist myself. I have almost 9 years of industry experience. I've been working into multiple domains, be it finance, cloud domain, manufacturing, automobile, telecommunications. So I've been into multiple domains. So any questions regarding any particular topic regarding any of your domains, like if you have any question regarding any specific domain, please shoot your questions. I can take that. Also, along with that, I'm a motivational speaker as well. So I take industry sessions. I talk to students regarding their jobs, career, anything, right? So if you have any concerns regarding your job, career, placement, or data science, or anything in general, also, guys, do feel free to ask a question. It's pretty much a live session, right? So you know that. So please utilize the time, right? So if you won't utilize the time, there's no point of me going live. I can always do a recorded session for you, right? So I mean, it's going to be a one-way thing, right? But since it's a live session, guys, please utilize the time and try to ask as many questions as you can, right? It's always important at the end of the day that you go home learning something new. Okay, that's something which is my priority. Okay, so always feel free to ask your questions. Cool. So let me pull up the slide. So we were discussing on functions. So I'm just going to give you a few brief about functions. So what we discussed yesterday, and also I'll introduce you to Lambda functions. Okay. So that's going to be my agenda for the day. Just allow me a moment. I'm going to pull up the screen for functions. That should be it. Right. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm pulling up the screen. My God, again, I think there is some technical issue here. Okay. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions, I'm always all ears. Please do let me know your question. Meanwhile, I'm just setting up the screen again. There is some problem in this. Okay. I hope you guys went through the content yesterday. So we were discussing about other topics yesterday, right? So we were discussing about functions. Any questions, any concerns regarding functions? So if you are clear, if you have any doubts, guys, please do let me know. And did you guys try to solve the questions we did over for lists and dictionary? Any concerns regarding that? If anybody is having any doubts, guys, please do let me know. Ali, Akash, I hope you guys are following up the questions at your home also, right? It's not like I'm just done here speaking and then you are not doing anything at your home. So I hope you guys are still trying to do something at your home as well, right? This is something which is very important, guys. So do not, just be and just do something here as a learning process. So it's more like your effort as well, right? So I can only talk about few topics, but ultimately it should be you also that going home, and then you do the things at your place as well, right? So that's something which is very important. So do not you do not try to be lenient and then do not do anything at home. So please, a request to you guys. So do try to do that part as well. So let me know if my screen is visible. I'm trying to set this up. I don't know why this is not coming up. Yeah, I hope my screen is pretty much visible, right? Okay, cool. So we discussed about functions, right? So I'll just give you a brief about what functions are. So functions are nothing but a single line functions for me. So it's more like if you're doing same thing at multiple places in your code base, right? So that is where we're going to introduce you to functions. We're going to write a utility functionality kind of a thing which can be called at multiple places doing the same job during the entire code period, right? So the way you're going to write it, so we write a keyword def and then we have the name of the function, then the parenthesis, the colon, and then with the tab we have the code lines. That's what we do, right? So here again, look at this. So we did something like this. So we are creating a functionality here where we want the sum of two functions, sum of two numbers, and here we pass these two numbers as a dynamic variable inside my parentheses. So these two are my inputs to the function. So whenever I'm going to call this functionality sum of two, that's along with that I have to pass the two variables as well, a and b, right? And with this a and b, I'm going to do the sum of two. And what is that sum of two doing? The definition, the core logic of sum of two is written here. This is the way we write a function, right? So here it means that we are doing total. So total is a plus b. So we are creating an inbuilt another variable total where it is going to be a plus b. And now I am doing a is equal to 10. So just writing a pseudo number for a, printing a, which is now here a has to, instead of passing a as the initial variable, I'm defining another variable a as 10. So I'm just giving the value of a to 10 now. So when I'm going to print a, it's going to take the recent value of a, which is a of 10. So this is what it'll be printing here. And now post that, I'm also returning the total. So total is my original a plus b, right? So without altering it to 10. So this is what my output should be. This is what we have seen also, right? So if I'm going to call sum of 2 of 20 and 30, we saw that is a is 20 and b is 30. So originally 2 is total is 20 plus 30, that is 50. So total will be 50, but a will be still 10 because I have altered the value of a, and then the recent one will be get printed here, right? Okay, we have a question here from Akash. What is dynamic variable? So, okay, so don't get confused with the dynamic variable kind of a concept. So, I think I used the term wrongly here. So, don't get confused by that. So, ultimately, what I mean is, but when I said dynamic variable, it's more like whenever I'm passing a variable. So, whenever I'm passing something on the fly, right? So, this A and B could be anything. It could be dynamic. So, it could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 1000, 1000, right? So, any value. So this is what I mean as dynamic. So whatever value I pass on top of this sum of two as a function, right? It can be used dynamically, and eventually whatever number I pass, the calculation will be done on top of those two variables itself, right? So this is what I meant when I said sum of two. Okay, clear? This is what I meant. So now if I do sum of two, I can pass any value, and basically any way, any parameter, any a and b value, so which can be passed. So the results will still be focused on what the logic of my function is, irrespective of what value I pass. So this is what I meant when I said dynamic. Okay, cool. Likewise, sum of three, I can do anything, right? So the variable could be anything, the logic could be anything. It is completely user-defined function. So we call this as UDF also, right? It's a user-defined function where I'm going to create a function, and the logic of that function will be purely dependent on what I want that function to do. Okay, so here, suppose if I want sum of 3, where I'll be passing a, b, and c, so then the total will be a plus b plus c. This is what I want. I mean, the logic could be anything, whatever I pass, right? So like the way I can pass any variable, any function, and then I can pass whatever variable I want to be passed on top of that. Okay, so this is what the function does. We can create some complex functions also. So meanwhile, as we proceed in our code, as we proceed in our logic, as we proceed in our data analysis playlist, right? So we'll be doing a lot of other functions also during the course of our analysis. But right now, just to give you an overview of what functions look like. So this is how the look and feel in the overview of my code is. Okay, so I hope this is pretty much clear, guys. Great. So this is what function does. Now the good thing is that we have another functionality called as Lambda functions. Okay. So what are Lambda functions? So now here you saw that, right? So this functions, whatever we have as where we are creating with the keyword def, and then I'm passing my function name and then doing the parentheses and all that, right? And then I'm writing the pieces of code, right? So here in Lambda function is a one-liner function. So difference between my regular UDF, the user defined functions, and the Lambda function is Lambda functions are a single inline function. Okay. Here, for example, now the important thing comes, what is the difference and why there are two types of functions, when to use Lambda, right? When not to use Lambda. So such kind of questions also come. So to answer that, if your operations is complex, for example, suppose like the way this one, now I'll come to that sum of 3 kind of a problem, or sum of 2 also, like in this case. So here what I'm doing is I'm creating first a total and then defining another variable a, and then I'm doing something else on top of that. So there are 2-3 things which I'm doing within this function, right? I'm not doing only one function. I'm not just doing this total of a plus b, right? I'm doing 2-3 things here. So if I have 2-3 actions, 2-3 complex operations which needs more than one operation which needs to be performed in a function, then I cannot use Lambda functions. Lambda functions can only be used if I can write my entire expected output in a single line of code. Okay. Lambda functions can only be used if I can define my entire code, entire logic of my function in a single line. If I cannot write my entire code, entire logic of a function in a single line, then Lambda functions cannot be used. As simple as that. Okay. But if I can somehow replicate the same thing, replicate the question, replicate the logic of my function in a single line, then pretty much you can replace this with Lambda functions. Okay, cool. A couple of more things why Lambda functions what are certain other benefits. Lambda functions are generally, I would say, comparatively computational wise faster. Okay, so if we have like for example, if we have a very big data set on which you want to process things, for example, say you have a data set with say 1 million rows, okay, and then for 1 million rows you have a one column where you want to add that column with a value of 2. So every row has to be added with a value 2 for a particular column, right? This is one objective. So in this scenario, you might have to write a for loop. So if you can also write a function, in this function you can write a for loop, and within that for loop you can call every variable, then keep on adding +2 to that row, right? So this is very much time consuming operation. For loop anyway is very time consuming. Okay. So now to cater this, we have the Lambda functions. So Lambda functions are generally very faster. So we have certain other modifications on top of Lambda. We can use it with apply, we can use it with map, we can use it with filter. So there are some other combinations of Lambda functions which makes the operations faster. Okay. So it is very, I would say, computational wise, it is very effective, very efficient. So this is again another benefit of writing Lambda functions. Okay, so and so this is how we use the Lambda functions. But again, coming back just to define what Lambda functions are, and what to do, what not to do in Lambda function, we'll see to that. But again, before proceeding to Lambda functions, I'm going to just give you a basic introduction to different operators we have, operands we have in Python. Okay, so just a brief introduction to that. So we have majorly 7 types of operands. Okay, 7 major type of operands. In this, 4 are pretty common: sum, addition, subtraction, multiply, division. Okay, this is very common to everybody. Sum is denoted by plus, subtract by minus, multiplied by star, and division by /. This is pretty much common to everybody, right? So this should be known to everybody. So 4 major operands, which is common. Okay. On top of that, we have another 3 operands available. We have power, we have floor division, and we have absolute. So we have the modulus also. So we have a percentage. So we have 3 more operands available. So the reason I'm writing these operands here is I want to show it to you how exactly we can use these operands also. Like for example, floor division, we have power, we have absolute. So I mean, we have, like the way we have to find out how exactly this can be used in our kind of operations in Python. Let's see that. Okay. So for example, lambda. Let me show it to you how lambda is used. So for example, suppose look at this simple function. Okay. So what I have given is I've written the keyword lambda. So how to write a lambda function? We have to write the keyword lambda. Okay, so lambda is a keyword. So in the UDF you write def, right? Def as a keyword. But here we write lambda, lambda as my keyword. And now here, suppose if I'm objective is to do squaring of my number. If I want to do square of my number, right? So I can use any arbitrary element here, x. For example, I've written x. I can still write a. I can still write j. I can still write I. I can still write this. Even this is fine. Okay. Now whatever I write here, this has to be referred post my colon. So before. So now here in lambda we have two things. Okay. So first we have to define what is my reference, my kind of a pointer. If you have learned C, so this is kind of a pointer for me, right? So now using this pointer, using this as a reference element, I have to define what this reference element has to do. So this is my definition. This is my, I would say more like a, you have initialized my variable here. And now what is the definition of the function that will be coming post colon. So we have a colon in between, and after colon, we have to write the definition of my language. Right? So for example, here I'm initializing a variable x. It could be anything. And I'm saying that ultimately this function has to do x cross x. So whatever I'll be passing as x, this has to do x cross x. Okay, like the squaring of my variables. For example, I'm giving this as g. So this g becomes a function. Okay, so this is a lambda function. Now what I'm saying is, if I'm passing g and I'm in the variable I'm passing 2, so basically I'm giving 2, assigning this 2 to x, and I'm saying 2 should be 2 cross 2. So output is 4. As simple as that. Clear? Plain simple function. Now if we have to write the same thing, exactly same thing in a user defined function, I can still do that. So what I'll be doing here, def, I have to name this function, suppose say square, and then I'll be passing say x, so the variable x here, and then I'll be saying say return x cross x. Right? Now this is my function. The same. This is exactly the same function I've written in the UDF format, right? Now if I call square and then I pass 2 here, I'll get 4. Same thing, okay? Is exactly the same thing. Now here, look at how I'm defining a lambda function here. So thing is, this operation, which is x cross x, can easily be written in a single line of code, right? This is simple, right? So this is one single operation, x cross x. I can convert this into a one single line of operation in the code. So this is one of the very classic example where I can use the current functionality and I can use it for my squaring purpose. Make sense? Is it clear, guys? Just a quick yes or no. And how to write lambda, how to write my UDF. Is it becoming clear? Any questions in this, guys? Any doubts, please let me know. Guys, is it clear? Just a quick yes or no. If you are able to understand that, just say yes. This is important, guys. Okay, this is very simple explanation of lambda. Okay, but again, important thing to understand is when to use lambda, because generally people gets confused. Yeah, when to use lambda, when not to use lambda, right? So, and again, because it's another way of writing the functions, right? So you should be very much clear when to use lambda, when not to use lambda. So very clear cut answer to that is, if you can write your entire code logic in a single sentence, then you can use lambda, else you cannot. Okay, cool. So let me give you another example, plain simple example only. So now here I'm using two different operators. So I can also pass multiple operators here, right? So like the way we are creating sum of 2. So in that sum of 2, we were passing x and y both, right? So like the way we can also pass both x and y or multiple such operands in lambda as well. So for example, here if you can see x and y, and now I'm saying that whatever x and y I'll be passing, that should return x cross y. Or like for example, if I take sum of, so if I want to take sum of 2, so I can write x plus y also, right? So this is exactly the same function where it is sum of 2. So if I write sum of 2, I'm passing x and y in this, right? And I'll be saying return x plus y. Or I can still complicate this. I can write, say, total is equal to x plus y and then return total. Still fine, okay? So whatever way I want to do, okay? So this function and this function, they both are same. They both are same. They are just the another way of writing the same thing, okay? So now, for example, if I do sum of 2 like this, and then on top of this, if I write sum of 2, and then if I write, say, 2 comma 3, I'll get 5. Because I'm doing sum of this and returning the total. Cool? Like the way here, if I call this on top of my lambda function, still the same thing, guys. There is no difference in that. I can still call multiple operators just by giving a comma, right? So as you know, so after lambda, the keyword lambda, there are two things. First, so we have a colon here. So before the colon is the assignment variable. So the variables which I'm initializing x comma y, and then after the colon I have the logic of my code, which is x plus y. Okay, so I have my code logic which I want to do, which is x plus y. Clear, guys? Simple. Now again, another example, just to show you that. So look at this. Can somebody tell me what will be the output of this? So I have three variables here, x comma y comma z, and I'm doing a complex operation here. So x floor division y plus z, and then I'm passing it over g. So I have three variables now, so because I'm initializing 3 x y z. So in x y z I'm passing 10, 4 and 2. So x is 10, y is 4, z is 2. Quickly, guys, can you tell me what will be the answer here? Simple question only, but you need to understand how exactly the functions will be happening. Quickly, guys, what will be the answer here? ओके चलो मैं एक बार दिखाता हूँ आपको. पहले तो आई थिंक शायद फ्लोर डिवीजन में लोगों को प्रॉब्लम हो रही होगी. लेट मी टेल यू व्हाट फ्लोर डिवीजन इज. फॉर एग्जांपल, सपोज आई हैव 10 and I'm doing 10 divided by 5. So this will give me 2 because it is clearly dividing this number. So 5 multiplied by 2, which is 10, it is giving me 2.0, right? Now if I do 5 divided by 4, I'll get what? 2.5, because here 4 is not dividing 10 completely. So 4 is dividing 10 by 2.5 times. It's not a clear integer, right? It's not a clear integer. So now if I write floor division, which is double forward slash, so in this case I'll get 2. That means that, so the nearest integer, the smallest nearest integer, that will be my floor division. So here my 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. So whatever the integer value of 2.5, that will be taken as your floor division. So 2 will be my output here. Like the way if I do it 3, it will be 3, because 10 divided by 3 is 3.33 something, right? So here it will become 3 in this case. That is floor division, right? So now like this, if I do it here, so I have floor x divided by y. So 10 divided by 4, that will be what? And then plus 2, right? So do it like this. The answer is 4. It's a sequential operation. Thank you so much, Akash. Thank you so much, Ali, for answering. Clear? Simple? चलो अब एक काम करते हैं. This is actually decent enough to have a fair understanding of what your actual lambda function should look like. But again, I want to go more deep in Lambda. But again, it's today. Let's do some questions on some functions, and I'll give you some question on Lambda as well, right? So that we can be very sure of we are aware of Lambda functions. Okay. So we can go more deep in Lambda. So tomorrow we'll be going more deep in Lambda. We'll be doing more map, filter, and all that. So we'll be doing that. Okay. Today, let's look at this question, guys. So we have a function called as check. So we have a function called as check. Here I'm passing one variable x. So if x is less than 5, I'll be doing x equal to 5. And if x and you're gonna be you're dividing it by 2, so remainder of 2 is if it is equal to 0, I'm gonna saying print x is even, else x is odd. Okay. So now here I'm saying that a is 4 and I'm passing check over a, which is 4. Quickly, guys, can you tell me what will be the output of this? Look at the function very carefully, guys. Again, it's always, I've tried to add a few more complexity in this question. But again, it's a very simple question, but you should be able to understand the flow of your code. Quickly, guys. Quickly, guys, what should be the output here? Not sure? Not able to understand the question? It's pretty simple, guys. Look at the question very carefully. So we have 2-3 things happening here. So we have multiple if-else statements. And so now if-else statements are more of a sequential process. So don't forget that whatever parameter you are passing, it has to pass the if-else condition. Accordingly, it will do the action. Right? Guys, do let me know if you're not able to understand the question. I hope the question is clear to everybody, right? Akash, Ali, whosoever is a part of our chat today. So it's pretty simple, guys. So look at this. Here we are passing a is equal to 4, right? So I'm passing check over a. So Ali says false. So, okay, Ali says false. So false is, I mean, it's nowhere. So false is not an output, right? So it will either be printing, right, print x is even or x is odd. That will be your output. So output is not a false statement here, right? It cannot be false. It has to print something, whether it has to print x is even or x is odd. Okay, so let me explain you here. So look at this. I have a is 4. So basically, when I'm calling this function check on top of a, so basically here I'm saying that x on this function which is defined here, right? So this function where I'm writing x, this x is nothing but 4, right? I'm saying that this x is nothing but 4, right? Pretty simple. Now I'm saying that if x, so now it is a sequential process. Always the code runs in sequence, right? So the first line will be executed. So now here it says if x is less than 5, and what is x? 4, right? If 4 is less than 5, which is true, right? In this case, it will go to the command, which is x is equal to 5. Now it will replace my a, which is x, now to 5. So instead of x, which was 4 earlier, now x became 5. Correct? So till this point, this is correct. Now here, till this point, x was equal to 4. But now after this line, x is equal to 5. Correct? Now if x is equal to 5, I'm saying that if x of modulus 2 is equal to 0, that means that if x is divided by 2 and the remainder of that is equal to 0, right? But what is x? X is 5, right? X is not 4. X is 5. Remember, Ali, remember, x is not 4 anymore. X is 5. So in this case, if 5 is divided by 2 and the remainder is equal to 0, which is wrong. So if 5 is divided by 2, remainder is not 0, remainder is 1, right? So if, now in this statement is false, right? So it won't go here. This won't be executed, right? This is false, right? So this won't execute this. It will go to else. And what is else? Print x is odd. And what is x? Look at this. I'll say 5 is odd because x is now 5. X is not 4 anymore. Okay? Clear? Likewise, now what if I write a as 10? Can somebody tell me what will be the answer here? Quickly, can somebody tell me what will be the answer here? Instead of passing as 4, now if I pass a as 10, what shall be the output here? Quickly, guys. What shall be the output here if I pass x is equal to, so basically a is 10 here. Quickly, Akash, Ali, or whosoever wants to try. Ali says odd. Okay. Akash says odd. Okay. Guys, come on. No. So look at this. You are actually wrong here. This will be even. Look at the code again. Okay. Look at the code again. So now in this case, if I pass x as 10, okay, if I pass x as 10, so here my initial x is 10. Now this will be executed like this. If x is less than 5 or if 10 is less than 5, 10 is not less than 5, right? So this is false. This won't be executed. So in this case, this won't be executed. So this won't be executed, right? So now x is not equal to 5 anymore. X will still remain 10 only. So this is false, right? So this won't be executed. It'll go to the next line, which is f. This is this line. Now here it'll say if x of modulus 2 is equal to 0, that means that if 10 come modulus 2, so if 10 is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0, yes, if 10 is divided by 2, remainder will be 0, right? So this is true. Now this statement is true. Now this is true, then this will be executed. Now this will be executed, right? And this won't be executed because now if is already executed. So if this is true, this won't be executed, right? This is what if else is. Guys, if my point is clear, Ali, Akash, this is a simple point only, but it's good that you are making mistake here, and I hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to convince. Right? Any questions here, guys? Any questions? Great. Okay, last question for you. What if I pass this? If I pass A is 5. Last question for you. What will be the output here? If I pass A as 5 here now. Right, so we can write one more elif condition. So maybe suppose we can write one more here. So what if like this, just a minute. So like this, if I write elif, and in elif we write x is equal to x is less than 10, right? And then we'll say print thank you very much. Okay, cool. Now look at this. Okay, it's a very good question which Akash has asked. So now I'll give you a scenario. So let's just a minute. So like this, if I write elif, and in elif we write x is equal to x is less than 10, right? And then we'll say print thank you very much. Okay, cool. Now look at this. Okay, it's a very good question which Akash has asked. So now I'll give you a scenario. So okay, if I give this as 9. Now, how this will be executed? Now look at this. If I give this 9, okay, so if I give this a is 9, okay, so now here x is 9, okay, and now this will be executed like if 9 is less than 5, so 9 is not less than 5, this is not true, this is false, so this won't be executed, right? It'll go to the next line, which is this, okay. Now this will be executed. Now here it will say if 9 modulus 2 is equal to 0, so if 9 modulus 2 is not equal to 0, right, even this is false, right? So even this won't be executed. Now it will go to the next line, it will go to this elif. It will again check elif if x is less than 10, if 9 is less than 10, yes, 9 is less than 10, right? So now this is true. In this case, this will be executed, print thank you very much. Else, so now again, if this is true, if elif is true, else won't be executed anymore because elif is true now, okay? Now look at this. The answer is thank you very much. Clear? Python is always a sequential operation, okay? Is always a sequential operation. Got it? Clear? Any questions? Akash, Ali, anybody who's part of our chat today? Wonderful, wonderful. Can try for 8, why not? Let's try for 8. Okay, now please tell me if I pass A as 8, what will be the output? Quickly guys, Nikhil has asked this question. So what will be the output if I pass A as 8? Quickly guys, question to everybody now. Tell me what will be the answer if I pass A as 8. That is very good guys that you're trying to think of this problem. Very good. It's a simple problem only. It's a simple problem only. I want the final output. Don't give me one word answer. Hemant, so you said elif. So no, I don't want a one word answer. I want the final output. What will be printed? What will be the output here? Give me the final answer here. If I give A as 8, what will be the, no, again, Ali, don't give me a final thing as even. I just give me the full answer. What will be the output printed, the printed output here from this code? Quickly guys, what will be the output of this code? This looks like a very simple problem. Trust me, this looks like a very simple problem. But once you actually start solving this, right, and once this question appears to an MCQ problem, once you go for the interview, right, you always start scratching your head. These are some conceptual questions, okay? Some conceptual questions, and it really needs that you understand how things are executed in Python. It really needs to know how things are executed in this. So Hemant says thank you very much. Okay. Anybody is having any other response? Ajay says even. Anybody is having any other answer? Ali says odd. Okay, interesting. Anybody is having any other answer? Akash says 8 is even. Ali says error. Okay, interesting. So here Hemant says x is even. So I'm assuming x is 8 here. Okay. So Hemant has changed his answer. Anybody is having any? So we have 3 answers here. We have even, we have error, and we have odd as well. A is not defined. A is defined. Huh? So I have defined A is equal to 8 here. I have defined A. Don't worry about that. So I have defined A is 8 here. So A is defined. Okay. Anybody is having any other answers here? So the answer is, again, it's very simple. Look at this, guys. Let's try to execute this manually first. Okay. We'll see in the code also. So when I pass A is equal to 8, right? So here X is 8, right? Now this will be executed first. It says X is less than 5. So 8 is less, if 8 is less than 5, this is not true. 8 is not less than 5, right? So this won't be executed. After this, it will directly jump to the next statement, which is if x percentile, if s modulus 2 is equal to 0 or 8 modulus 2 is equal to 0. So is 8 modulus 2 is equal to 0? Yes. If we divide 8 by 2, it'll cut it completely, right? So it'll be 0. So this statement is true, right? If this is true, everything apart from that, because it's like it's connected, right? So elif is connected, else is connected to this if statement, right? So if this is true, my elif and else won't be executed anymore, right? If this is true, this is gone for me. So now only this statement will be executed. So now it will say x is even, or it will say 8 is even. That will be your output. Clear? Any questions here, guys? Any questions? Anybody? I'm still giving you one more chance. Any question? Anybody is having any trouble in understanding this problem statement? Guys, quickly. Is it clear to everybody? Anybody is having any problem in understanding this? Clear? Great. Okay, let's take one more question. Let's take one more question. Now get this. So I have this, and I'm calling print of new. I'll say hello, and I'll say 5. Can somebody tell me what will be the output of this? Quickly look at this new problem now, guys. I have one more problem given here. Can somebody tell me what will be the output of this? So I have the function print new, and I'm defining two variables here, x and y, and I'm writing a simple statement for I in range of y, print x. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. So tell me the answer, how exactly the output should look like. Okay, so we have a response from Nikhil. Hello 5 times. Yugal says hello. Akash says hello 5 times. And we have one more response from Dolappa, and he also says hello 5 times. Okay. Anybody is having any other response apart from this? Any other response, guys? This is pretty simple. Pretty simple, right? So it'll print hello 5 times because I'm passing it over a range element, right? So I'm passing it over a range element, and it's going to give me 5 times of that, right? Now, what else? Okay, so a quick question. If I pass it like this. So same question. So same function, print of new x and y. And if I'm going to pass it over range of y, so for I in range of y, print of x, what will be my output here? If I only pass print of new hello, what will be the output in this case? A new question to you guys. What will be the output if I only pass print of new hello? Quickly. This is simple, guys. So, yes, so Nikhil says argument y is missing, okay? Anybody else is having any other response? Type error. Okay, Akash says type error. Okay, interesting. Anybody is having any other response, guys? Okay, now Hemant says one time hello. Okay, interesting. Ali says error. Okay. Any other response, guys? Any other response? So we have two answers till now. So we have one response as error and one response as one time hello. Any other response apart from this? So look at this. This will give me an error. This will give me an error saying that my positional argument y is missing. So the reason is this function is defined in such a way that it mandatorily needs x and y. Okay, it mandatorily needs x and y both. Okay, and it'll give me an error. Now just look at this. Now I'm just going to modify this. Okay, now can somebody tell me if I run the same code? Okay, if I run the same code, if I run the same code, what will be the output? I've just changed the function a bit. Okay, I've just changed the function a bit. Can somebody tell me what will be the output now? So these are very conceptual questions, guys, very simple things, but trust me, people really make mistakes in these small things. They do mistake. You are very much bound to make mistakes in these things, and that is the reason why questions are being put like that. Right. So Hemant says one time hello. We can use default value to y. Akash says hello. Right. Hello, hello. Great, great, guys. Yes. So now here, what does it mean? If I run it like this, I'll get an output as hello, because the reason is, even if I don't pass y, it'll take the default value of y, which is already been passed at the time of function creation. So now default value of y is 1. If I do not pass anything right in this function, I'll still get one single hello, which will take y as 1 as a default value, right? I'll still get 1. Now if I pass like this, now just one more last question to you guys. Can you tell me what will be the output here? Now here, although I have y is equal to 1, even after having y is equal to 1, I'm still passing y is equal to 5 here. Will this give me an error, or will this print me 5 times hello? Or will this give me one time hello? Last question to you guys. What will be the output of this command now? Okay, Yugal says hello 5 times. Anyone is having any other response apart from Yugal? Hello 5 times. Akash also says hello 5 times. Any other responses, guys? Okay, we have one more answer. Hello 5 times. Okay, very much. Thank you so much, guys. Yes. So now here, although I have passed y is equal to 1 as a default value, it means that if I do not pass any y value while calling the function, it will go to the default value of 1. Okay, this is what it means. But I can still pass any y value I want, and it will work. It will override the default value of y to that. Okay, so this is what it means, guys. Clear? I hope everybody answered everybody answered it correctly. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so happy that you were able to understand what I'm trying to teach here. Great, guys. I hope you're liking the sessions, right? So this is the way where you can learn Python in a better way, right? So questions are very important. So without questions, it becomes really difficult to understand the things, right? So great, great, guys. That's wonderful. Good to know that you guys are interacting and you guys are liking the content. So with this, we are pretty much done for the session today. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be going deep about more towards Lambda functions. So we'll be going deep on Lambda map and Lambda filters. We'll try to understand those. So we'll go there, right? Great, guys. Till then, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today, and apologies for being a bit late today, but tomorrow we'll be joining at the same time. Sure, Vishnu. I can look forward to providing the notes. I can do that. Let me look out how I can do that. So maybe I can attach it in the YouTube video itself. Let me look out a way, and we will discuss on that. Okay. Cool. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being part of our content and connecting with us. So see you tomorrow, same time, and 10 p.m. we'll be meeting each other. Okay.